Chilling words told to the cops after allegedly taking the life of Texas football star who passed away in his brother's arms. Well, interesting. I thought, this kid's dad has already come out to say that he wasn't the aggressor, as we all knew would happen. We all knew that would happen. The chilling words teen told cops after allegedly taking the life of a God-fearing 4.0 student who dared to ask him to change his seat. The teenager is accused of fatally taking Austin Metcalf's life and leaving him to pass away in his brother's arms at a high school track meet. Allegedly admitted to the senseless killing, but claimed it was self-defense. Really? He said, "I'm not alleged. I did it." The 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony chillingly told police as he was being arrested at the stadium. Well, yeah, that sounds exactly like what he would say. He had a million opportunities to walk away. A million, and chose not to. He was asked by Metcalf to move. Anthony then refused, according to the arrest report. Anthony then unzipped his backpack, reached inside, and told Metcalf, whom he'd never met before, "Touch me and see what happens." A witness told police, according to the document. At any point, again, he could have walked away. At any point, including right now, he could have walked away. Moments later, Metcalf grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and Anthony pulled out a black knife that he had brought to a track meet and stabbed him in the chest. Anthony then ran away before he was chased down and arrested. "I was protecting myself," Anthony told the cops. "He put his hands on me." He also then asked the cops what constitutes self-defense and whether or not Metcalf would be okay, according to the report. "Bro, you stabbed him in the heart. What did you think? What did you think was going to happen? I can't even believe you had the gall to ask if he was okay." I don't know why they're bringing up the race of the knife either. I don't know. Metcalf, a junior high at Memorial High School outside Dallas, suffered a stab wound to the heart and died almost immediately. Well, of course he did. That's what happens when you get stabbed in the heart. It was really under 30 seconds, this altercation. Hunter told WFAA in an emotional interview, "I never met this kid in my life. My brother stepped in and said, 'You need to move.' Hunter had an Anthony's like, 'Make me move.' Then all of a sudden he stabbed him." I don't care if this guy put his hands on him to move him physically or not. This thing is, this is crazy. It's not premeditated, but why did he bring the knife in the first place, I don't get it. I don't understand how we can't talk about this stuff. We're going to talk about it later in the stream. Matt Walsh had a very strong reaction to this, one that I happen to agree with, and it's got the internet all worked up. Now, the dad has come out to say, the other guy was the aggressor. Dad of the accused teen of fatally stabbing says, Austin Metcalf was the aggressor. Everyone has already made their assumptions about my son, but he's not what they're making him out to be. Really? He brought a combat knife to a track meet and stabbed somebody in the chest. I don't think I'm taking a huge leap here. To say, what's going on with that? He's a good kid. He works 2 jobs and an A student. Then why was he immediately trying to fight somebody? Why was he immediately trying to fight somebody instead of just moving if he was just a good kid who didn't do nothing wrong? He works 2 jobs. Okay, cool. He works. That doesn't mean he's not a thug. The elder Anthony insists his son didn't instigate the tragic brawl over a seat at the stadium. He was not the aggressor. He was not the one who started it. This guy, by the way, wasn't there. His dad wasn't there. Just another didn't do nothing. This is the problem. This is part of the problem. this is part of the problem. You know, the dad is excusing the behavior. What do you want me to do? The whole black community is going to come out now and say, "Oh, well, you just weren't there and you don't know." Well, what I do know is that this kid had numerous opportunities to walk away, never did. They weren't chasing him down. They weren't hitting him. They weren't cornering him. It was not a life or death situation, but he took a kid's life. His reaction to a minor altercation was to kill somebody. You know, I've been in a lot of arguing and shouting matches and stuff like that. No point did I ever think, boy, I should probably stab this guy. You know, it's wild to me that the community and that his dad, I mean, I get it, it's his dad. But maybe the dad should be asking, why was my son carrying around a weapon at a high school track meet? Why did he have a huge knife in his backpack? You know, why isn't the dad asking that question? The question also is the dad in the kid's family? You know, I don't know. What makes somebody good? He was sitting under someone else's canopy. He didn't belong there. They asked him to move, and he escalated it to a fight by saying, "Make me." All he had to do was get up and move. The idea that him saying that his dad coming out and saying he hitting him with the dindu crap is insane. Of course he escalated it. Of course. Does anybody even think for a second he didn't? Of course it's his fault this escalated. Like, this is not even up for debate. He should have just left. He didn't. He was in the wrong seat. I don't care if those kids called him the N-word. He didn't have any right to be stabbing people. But that's what he did. Because of low impulse control, poor role models. Why do you want to bet his dad isn't even in this kid's life? But he's the first one to say, "You didn't know about my son. You didn't know about my son." You know what I mean? You know, it's dumb. Like, why don't you just say, "I don't know why my son had a knife. He obviously made a huge mistake. And now he killed somebody. And now he's going to have to suffer the consequences for that." Why is that so hard to say for people? I simply don't understand. Sounds like his dad wants a payday in that golden coffin. I don't understand it. And until such a point in which fathers start taking responsibility for their sons and for their actions in any community, you are not going to have any end to this. And that kind of leads me into my next segment, which we're going to get into here. There's some pretty spicy stuff going on. My son never did any harm to anybody. Yeah. He didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing. What is so hard about just saying, you know, it's a damn shame that my son felt like he needed to carry a gun around or a knife. It's really sad that my son felt like he needed to carry a weapon around, and it's sad that this, you know, that this had to happen, that he didn't feel like he could de-escalate the situation, and he went straight to killing somebody. You know? No, he just says he didn't do anything wrong. It is you that is racist. I don't know what else to say about it, you know. It's dumb. This kid's life is ruined. This other kid's dead. He's going to be in the system. It's going to be disastrous.